could play small and I could like give out some of the company and do different things, or I was just like, just go right head on into it. And worst case scenario is, I keep having to hustle at it for a couple of years before something happens. But through this process, what I learned is if I'm hearing no, it's not to keep asking, it's to change my question, And then once I changed my question, it was like we started hearing yes, but. And then it was like, so we tweaked the question again, because it's like, okay, people just really quite aren't understanding. And then it was like, once we tweaked it that third time, suddenly it was like, okay, yeah, I really like this project. I think that it's been a really good learning experience. And I am so thankful every single day that I took your course. I have to say, I am always like, it gave me the tools, but like the confidence even more so than the tools to be able to go out there and approach people and talk to these people, like talk to the lender, talk to the investor, like like the other people involved. Like we were on a call last night with I think 36 other people and sharing our project. If I hadn't gone through your course, it would have been, I think, a much more uncomfortable process for me to be like, I know what I'm doing here. So I didn't have to fake it so much. It was like, okay, I know exactly what to tell you guys. I know how to talk about it. And at the end of the call, everybody was like, there were people that were like, well, I only have, so much to invest. Can I partner with somebody else to invest in this? Like, I really want to get on this project. And
It's worse places to have development projects.
I know. I'm moving my family to Portugal. Whole thing started back in December when I flew to Portugal to see the property, and then we got the contracts and started moving forward with it. So everything came about relatively quickly. It's crazy because when I started the course with you, I was looking at working with a woman named Lisa. As I was going through the process with her, I realized that what she was doing was really, I could get involved, but I would only be involved on her terms. Like I wasn't going to get that full disclosure, that I would need to be able to run with it on my own. So in realizing that, I was like, okay, well, let's see what else is out there for me. I connected with some people that were doing wholesaling. And then I ended up looking at, well, maybe I should just buy properties myself, because I was looking at all these properties that we were bringing up for wholesale. And I was thinking, I could easily raise capital for a lot of these projects. So like, why are we wasting our money? Like, why are we wasting the time just trying to get the product to the end person when like we could be the end person and doing this? Friend that I'd known for about 3 years, she brought this winery to my attention, and it's like a wine hotel in Portugal. And we just started looking into it. We came up with like a criteria of 5 to 10 different things that we like had must-haves. There was like 5 must-haves and then 10 additional that like made it just like extra perfect of an investment. And this property happened to hit every single price point, and it was the lowest of I think we have 15 different opportunities in front of us right now that people have since brought to us since we started down this. It was like you start telling people that you have access to some capital, and then all of a sudden they're bringing like projects that are like off the market, nothing that nobody knows that these things are for sale, but they're bringing them to us and saying, hey, if you're interested, we'd be interested in selling to you. And so we started down the process with the winery hotel because it was the lowest of the cost of all of them, and it had the highest loan to value ratio. So it's a 7.5 is the acquisition price, and then it's 7.5 euros, which is about 8.5 in dollars, and it's worth about 14 million euros, which I think is a little over 16 million in dollars. The winery itself has, I think it's 22 rooms spread between 8 different buildings. There's 4 pools. I think it's 19 hectares altogether, which is 48 acres.
You said you had a lender that was willing to do 50 million?
So we've been approved for the full 50. We're putting down the 2.1, which is like a little less than 15%, but they're willing to do the 15 for that based on our project. From that 15 that we receive, we'll take 3 off the top and reinvest it back into the ICA account, which will increase our credit line to 50. So okay. It's not really a loan, but it's pretty good terms. I think it's at 6.25%. I have all the faith because I have direct contact with somebody who says, "Oh yeah, I've worked with these guys, they're legit, they do this stuff, and I can trust this resource," basically.
And that 50 million you're looking for, is that to do other properties, or is that
It's
just
for
all going to the
us.
winery?
No, it's for us to do. We've got a 5-star luxury hotel that we're already in discussions with. That's right on the coast in Portugal, and then
Nice.
we also have a development project that's also on the coast in Portugal. Like it's like the last piece of coastal front, like ocean front land that's there that we have a private access to, basically, that we're going to acquire and then develop on.
Yeah, a different company. You weren't doing what you're doing now. You had a
Yeah.
fascination with commercial real estate, international real
Hmm.
estate. You
Yeah.
jumped into this thing, to figure it out, and you did. I mean, for someone in your position, like what was the trigger that made you want to, you know, do this with me?
Well, I met you. I'm an energy person, so I go off of energy, and I knew that there was a lot I could learn from you immediately. And I like your demeanor. I like the way that you approach things. Like I can see you're very methodical, and like you have there's a purpose behind what you're doing. Like it's not just like I'm doing this to make a bunch of money. It's like I'm doing this because I really want to teach people and I want to help them, and I really like that. But then I love to learn, and I've always been interested in the capital raising world because it seems like, what is the key that unlocks like the golden trunk? Finding, deciding to work with you was like an immediate yes. It's like the universe is just guiding me in this direction. Like, okay, you're meant to meet this person because this person is going to teach you something that will be invaluable. It's like I had this voice in my head, call it God, call it the universe, whatever you want to call it, that was like, this is the path. And what's amazing is when I took your course, I didn't have the money to take your course. Like my partner happened to get a bunch of overtime and his check was enough to cover the cost of the course. So it was like, it's not, I didn't have it in my savings account, it was like, and he had the funds. And so he was like, here, use this, like pay for your class, take it. Things like that it just happened. And every single thing that's happened so far has been that exact same.
Definitely reinvesting in yourself it pays dividends. When I hired my first coach, I was resistant, but it paid for itself in the first 60 days. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, like why have I not been doing this? Like why I've been doing this the hard way. Well, that's awesome. I think you've got a great story from pivoting industry, going all in, and now you're looking at a $50 million, pot of cash to use on your projects. So,
Yeah.
and you're doing the international stuff, which you wanted to do. So
Yeah.
that's
It's
awesome.
amazing how it like just, I mean, I'm amazed every day. I'm just like, when I think about where I started at last year, just like taking your course and then to where I'm at now. I mean, I definitely believe that there's a lot of it that is a testament to what you've taught, and just like how far I've gotten because of the knowledge that I gained in that class, being able to put together my proposals and papers like that. I've had lots of compliments on everything that I put together. People are like, this looks really nice. Like
It matters.
it does.
It's the details. Everybody's psychoanalyzing, and it's just the
Yeah.
little details that stack up to where it puts you over the top, and they look at you as an expert. We've helped a lot of clients out, did 200 million in term sheets in the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Um, it's not go to a weekend seminar. It's not go to a
Right.
3-day workshop. Would you agree?
Right.
It's like you got to
Oh
get
yeah.
hands-on and be consistent, checking in twice a week, getting stuff done. That's
Yeah.
how you learn this stuff. It's too much to learn in a weekend. Like you're going to
No,
lose
no.
90% of it.
When the course was over, I was a little sad because I was like, what am I going to do with my Tuesday mornings? Because everybody that I ever saw in like when in the group thing that I was in, every one of those projects, I was like, I would invest in this. Like, I would invest in this. Like, this is a brilliant idea. It's a good, like, and you
Yeah.
do a great job at vetting people, I think, also, though, and getting people in there that are serious and dedicated. And what's the worst thing? What's the alternative is that I stay the same in my life, and I don't want that.
You said it perfectly, right? You know what the alternative is. You don't do it, you know what you're going to get. Why not try? You're a classic example of pivoting, learning, absorbing, running full speed, staying at it. Just that one can change everything. And that's what you've
Exactly.
done, right? And now
Yeah.
there are investors that invest in these things.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as you know, you meet some frogs.
We had some guy, like one of the first phone calls I hopped on, the guy's like, nobody's going to invest in this. Nobody's going to do this with you guys. Like you don't, this is not a project anybody, it's uninvestable. And he said that like 4 times. And I was like, okay, I get it. I get it. Like you are not, it's not for you. Like, we're good. Like, thank
Can you
you.
can
Thank
you
you so
can
much.
you rephrase that one more time? I don't think I understand where you're sitting. Yeah. There's always a naysayer. It's like when you have
Mm-hmm.
your vision, think about all
Just
the great things, all the great companies like
mm-hmm.
Apple, Google, like all these. How many naysayers said that's a stupid idea, right? How many
Right.
people try to get Edison to stop? Kudos to you for staying the course, staying at it, being tenacious, going for it, and now you're reaping the rewards. It's
Yeah.
really cool that you're doing what you're doing.
I
So
tell people all the time about your course too. Anytime I come across somebody, I'm like, you got to talk to this guy. If you're looking to raise capital, like there's only one person